Alright, I think it's recording. I'm gonna spray some epoxy on this Jeep stuff and we'll see how it turns out. Also gonna put Hotrod black on it. This is the last thing I had to do for the Jeep, so I got it all sandblasted up and ready to go. So I'm gonna put some water on the floor just for probably an hour. Let's see, I got a new winch. Hook up to the truck, to my K5. Building some brackets and stuff to get it hooked up. I'm gonna try to put it underneath the bumper so it doesn't show. Hopefully it'll be pretty cool. We'll see how it turns out. Alright, I think I got that little light too. That might help me a little. I don't know if it will or not. Put this bad boy on there. Actually, I need to put some saran wrap on that too. I don't want to get epoxy all over it. I hate messing with this saran wrap. It's a pain in the ass. And strong. Unlike a razor blade, it won't cut plastic. Alright. See how that does for me. And let me take my glasses off because I don't want epoxy all over them. What else? What else I need to do? Hose. Set the pressure. About 29. Turn the fan on. Set this. I need my glasses for this. We'll see. I can't see anything up close anymore. 1, 2.5. I don't know if this is all the way out. It's not. So let's see. 1-ish. All right, I'll kick that fan on. Looks like it'll work, maybe. Actually, we'll get that a little bit better. It's only the first coat, so I'm not looking for perfection here. The way this is set up, I have to try to get underneath this lip up in there, so Probably a little heavier than it ought to be, but good enough. Did sandblast these, so, and yeah, I'm not wearing a respirator. That is my life. I'm gonna die anyway. For the first coat, we'll let that kick for about 30 minutes. Hopefully I made enough of this, mixed up enough of it. I think I did. Let that sit up. I've got these handles also, but I'm gonna have, they're plastic, so I'm gonna have to put adhesion promoter on them. But once that flashes off, we'll see about, because these are in pretty good shape. We'll see how close that ends up being. If it's close, then I won't spray them, because like I said, they're in nice shape. I just don't want them to look totally different, because these actually slide up here on this, and those go across the luggage rack, what it is for that Jeep. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I got a little piece of whatever in it probably, but that's no big deal. It's pretty clean actually. Hey guys, so I got all this done for my last video. This is Hot Rod Black now. I put 2 coats of epoxy, 2 coats of Hot Rod Black on it. Turned out really nice. I love this stuff. This satin is, or flat or whatever you want to call it. It's, I don't know what you really call that. But anyway, I put an adhesion promoter on the plastic. These were metal. These were metal, so they were sandblasted. I don't know if I showed that in the last video or not. But anyway, yeah, anytime you're doing plastic, you're gonna want to use adhesion promoter. So these are dry. They've set up for 24 hours. So I should be able to touch them. And pull them off here. And if I didn't tell you last time, this is a roof rack that goes on that Jeep, and it was pretty bad shape, and so we repainted it, and it's gonna look freaking awesome. So you can see if that's showing, it's got a little bit of texture. That's what it had from the factory. That's factory texture. Same with these. It's just a little bit of texture. I don't know if how will that'll show up. That's those already in there. So, and then these are the tops. So these basically go in here like that, and then these slide so you can adjust your racks back and forth basically. And so now that he's got a freshly painted Jeep, we didn't want it to look like complete crap on top of there. So now we have those, and they are gonna look fantastic. However, and I need to put these back together. I took these apart to do it right. You guys know I like this little chair. I always use these because my back is not that great, so when I'm doing body work and stuff, I'm always sitting in these chairs and rolling around. And this has got a piece of tape on it. Piece of duct tape. Anyway, so it had casters on it. Well, found these little wheels are like inline skate wheels, and that sucker rolls good now, other than the tape that's all over them. But anyway, that's a idea for you. So these little guys right here are the little plug-in that holds all this stuff together. And so got me a new rethreading tool. I'm always buying new tool. I love new tools. I've got all kinds of new stuff going on here. But anyway, you can see these. Let me grab my phone to see what you're seeing here. Yeah. So I have a habit of putting this too high, and so like right there, I'll be talking and you won't be able to see. So I need to really focus on getting this camera set up at a good spot to where you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this grease on here, just on the sliding springs. What this is that goes inside there, and so when you push that, it drops this pin, and that pin goes in these little guys right here, so you can adjust it each one of these by pushing in on that. So we're gonna make her like new, but it's done, and I'm just waiting on these. Well, the problem is, because these are kind of goofed up from pulling them out, and they're a special size. So where is, let me look. So I think, yeah, they go in the bottom here. Nope, no they don't. I done forgot where they go. Yeah, maybe they do go. No, here's where they go. They go down here, and they have to be the right size. And so what goes on that, I know this is probably not interesting at all, but these little guys here, so this pops through there and fits into those grooves. But in this, now I forgot how they go. I'll have to sit down and think about how these go back together now. But these go into these tracks like this, basically. And so that will sit like that. And let's see if I can line these holes up. It goes something like that. And then so that's how that will look. And then on the ends, these little guys here will, see, go like that. So that's ultimately what that'll look like. But those have to pop in. Oh, here it is. This is what I was trying to talk about. So these have got to fit. That head's got to fit down in there if it's going to fit right. So I had to order these. Well, I ordered them, and I didn't realize when I did that I ordered them from Hong Kong. So you know how that goes, overseas shipping, and they weren't that expensive, but so I got to wait for those to come in, and then I can put all this back together and get this thing done and gone. I mean, the Jeep's obviously gone, but like I said, I needed to finish this, so I can go ahead and reassemble these handles today and get that done. And then I'll just have to wait for this stuff to come in. So, what else? I got my battery charged up, and let's see. I got this little guy here. I think it's still connected underneath there. Yeah, that little light comes on and tells you. And I had to mess with the starter a little bit to try to get it to where it was happy. And then I could crank this over. And so, I think I already told you that. I got it up to 40 or 50 pounds of oil pressure. Still doesn't sound good. Sounds like the starter's not quite. Sounds like the starter maybe need to be gapped a little bit better or something. That just doesn't, of course it doesn't have the spark plugs in it, but still, that just doesn't sound that good to me. And I think the starter Bendex, or whatever they call the little gear that jumps out, I think it's called the Bendex, and grabs a hold of the flywheel, I think it's just too tight. It needs a little bit more spacing. And because the snout on this is different than the one on for the big block. So the big block starter is here, and you can see it has these holes that bolt to the block. Well, on the small block, it goes into the what's that called? It's the bell housing, but there's also a plate in front of that. It's like a dust plate. Maybe it's called the dust plate, but it goes into that, and then it bolts into the bell housing, and there's 3 bolts. And so there's not really adjustment. Like, you can shim these, but as far as I know, you can't shim those. So I'm going to have to make the hole a little bit bigger, something in the housing itself, to move it, to clock it a little bit. That way it kicks the gear. Actually, I need to clock it that way, so it kicks the gear away from the flywheel. No, just opposite of that, because flywheel, yeah. So I clock it this way, that gear will kick out, and it won't be as tight up against the flywheel. It'll move it back this direction a little bit. So that's what I'm probably going to do this afternoon, see if that'll work for me, and get this thing to where it sounds like a normal starter, because that just doesn't sound that good. I thought maybe the battery was low, and it was, but that's clearly not what's going on, because it just doesn't sound right. Normally when you crank an engine with a fresh battery, it sounds a lot better than that, a lot different. So again, I think it's just the starter. So hopefully we're a little closer, and I've got to figure out all of my wiring. It's been so long, it's been a year, so I got to figure out what goes to where and all that kind of stuff, which is obviously not a big deal, but I've got all that. So, and then I got to get one going down to the bell housing, or not to the bell housing, but to the starter itself, since that one's going. Anyway, now I'm rambling and losing my train of thought. So anyway, that's it. I was going to show you these and how these turned out, and they turned out real nice. I think he'll be real happy with that. They look like new, really. So I'm going to put those together real quick and upload the last video. I'll probably cut some of it out because I did the same thing I'm doing now and just walked around and blabbed a lot. But that the epoxy, not the epoxy, the Hotrod black, I really like that stuff. And I sprayed it just like I spray my epoxy with my gun, and it sprayed out nice. So, and this is just single stage. When it comes with a hardener, it's actually here. There's your hardener, there's your paint, and then it's 4 to 1 to 1, and it wants you to put a little bit of reducer. And I had a whole can of this Southern polyurethane reducer, so I just used a little bit of that. didn't have any problems. So normally you don't want to mix stuff, but reducer, I don't know that it's that big a deal. I could be wrong, but. And then I use Southern Polyurethane's plastic adhesion promoter. So now I get to clean all this stuff up because I'm done painting for a while, hopefully. And also I'm going to fabricate this steel plate. I think I said that in the first video for this, so I might do some of that today also. Anyway, if I get anything worth videoing, which really so far none of this has really been worth videoing, in my opinion. But maybe somebody will find it interesting. Maybe you just want to look at a yellow blazer. My buddy calls it butternuts. It's actually, what do they call that yellow? Butternut maybe. He calls it butternuts. But it's that kind of ugly yellow in my opinion. Some people love it, but not me. So this will probably be a different color completely someday, if I get done with everyone else's projects, which who knows if that'll ever happen. But I need to get this where I can pull it in and out, and that was another thing, so that I can actually get to that, move this stuff around and get back to working on it. So this is temporary. I just need to get it running and get it out of here. Also, I figured if that thing doesn't run with that winch, I can just winch it, hook it in here to maybe one of these posts and winch it in and out as I need to, because I can push it out and then I'll just winch it back in. It's too hard once it goes down that decline there for me to push it back in. So I've been hooking a tow strap with my truck and running it underneath the Camaro and pulling it back in the shop. And it's kind of dangerous and kind of not, I mean, if it doesn't stop, it's going to slam into something. So I'm pushing it. So. And this winch, you can actually get a remote, which I'll probably do, that doesn't wire in. And so you can stand here with your little remote and just watch it and stay out of the way of the cable and all that, which that'd be awesome. So I think it's like 30 bucks or something for that little wireless remote. So anyway, I think I need more coffee. My brain's not really functioning great this morning. I got up really early. So I'm gonna cut it off here, so I'll save you guys a little bit of freaking pain. I mean, I could run my fingers down a chalkboard, I guess. That would be better than listening to this me gabbing, I guess. But anyway, all right, that's it. We'll see you guys. All right, one last look at this. I got it put together, and it's pretty nice. So that's what it looks like. So that's it. You guys have a good one.